Hi. I just had a few more people ask me some questions about the National Defense Authorization Act that I just wanted to talk about and clarify. I've already talked about Section 1021 in some other videos and how that does not apply to U.S. citizens. Section 1022, though, talks about the authorization for the military to hold people once they've been detained. And there were some questions about the use of the word requirement in one of these subsections here. Part B of Section 1022 talks about the applicability to United States citizens and lawful resident aliens. And in Part 1 there it says United States citizens. The requirement to detain a person in military custody under the section does not extend to citizens of the United States. People are concerned about the use of the word requirement there. They're taking that to mean that the military has authority to, but is not required to detain people that meet these qualifications. But the use of the word requirement there, they're talking about, it's implying qualifications rather than like a requirement to detain by the military. It's rather the United States citizens' ability to meet the requirements. We're not eligible to be covered persons under this part of the bill. And what's really interesting is if you look at the difference between Part 1 and Part 2 of Section B, Part 2 is the lawful resident aliens applicability. It says the requirement to detain a person in military custody under this section does not extend to a lawful resident alien of the United States on the basis of conduct taking place within the United States, except to the extent permitted by the Constitution of the United States. This language is there, this extra language is there because lawful resident aliens do not have the same rights that United States citizens do when it comes to detainment by the military, or separation of military from there. And still, the military has no authorization to pick up these people within the United States, as it clearly says there. But the reason that they had to add this extra language there is because the military does have authorization outside of the United States. If you're not a citizen that has rights granted to you by the Constitution, then you can be picked up by this bill. Yeah, like, you know, I understand a lot of the concern here. I was greatly concerned over this bill myself, but the thing is that you got to understand exactly what this bill is and what it means. And the thing that scared me about this bill was that without these clear limitations on military authority, effectively the military could be involved with local law enforcement. And that scares me because it would create an atmosphere in this country that I don't believe would last long. If we had tanks and military patrolling our streets, I don't think United States citizens would stand for that, and I think that the paranoid fringe part of our society would definitely retaliate with some sort of unnecessary violence that would only escalate the situation. That was what I was scared about. The part about detaining U.S. citizens and, you know, denying us due process it's definitely a threat to our freedom and liberty, but I felt like, you know, one or two of those cases could get by, but eventually, thanks to personal, person-to-person communication, that kind of thing would get back, and it would be brought to the Supreme Court, ruled as unconstitutional, and overthrown. Fortunately, Congress was preemptive in this and caught it and made these changes. And still, there's questions over the President's signed statement here. I wish that Obama had used some clearer language himself. But he clearly talks about the changes. After paragraph 4 of his statement, he's just detailing the changes that were made to the bill. So, if you want to take a look at that, it's at the White House's website, whitehouse.gov/the press office /2011/12/31/statement President HR 1540. Just go to Google and type in NDAA Obama statement White House. It'll pop up. And you can read it all there yourself. It's pretty clear. So thank you. If there's any more questions about this, please feel free to comment on this video. Try to keep any comment discussions in line so that people can follow the discussion. Thank you. Have a good day.